Good evening, class. Welcome to Introduction to Sociology, and great to see you all this evening. My name is Steve Johnson, and the reason I'm here is I love sociology and really love to get an opportunity to share some of that passion with students that either may have an interest in sociology or may just, obviously have other primary interests, but sociology is a great discipline to round out your education, in my opinion, and is a required course in some of the other programs. So, anyway, I have received emails from most of you describing a little bit about your background and what your interests are and so forth. So I love to communicate with students about their interests and what they may be trying to pursue in their career. So as you can see, I'm experienced, let's face it, old, and have had a lot of experiences, both job-wise and educationally wise. Give you just a little bit about my background. I did grew up in the Des Moines area. Got my bachelor's in sociology from Drake University, and then went down to St. Louis and got my master's in social work from St. Louis University. My primary positions have been in mental health and management, and so I love meeting new people, meeting people that have different opinions, and being able to realize what a complex world we really have here, and sociologists really attempt to explain the complexities of that world. No single one sociologist is going to be able to explain everything to you, but we're going to talk about a couple tonight that I think might pique your interest with a lot of the happenings we have going on in the United States and the world with the protests and conflict and so forth. So I think you might find that a little bit interesting. But please know that you can email me, call me, and any questions about the course. I think really tried to lay out a number of the assignments and papers that are part of this course with the appropriate due dates and so forth. And I'm always willing to look at. I did put some rough draft dates on there too, with the papers. So make sure you turn in rough drafts. You can get my opinion on that, and then you don't have to, wait to the last minute to try to throw something together, which we know isn't the best way to learn and get feedback. So appreciate that. Really, the overall course, Introduction to Sociology, is really being able to learn about, again, the complexities of the world, the importance of critical thinking. Life isn't always as it seems for us, so we want to be able to dig a little deeper and make sure we understand things. And so what we might read in the paper or we might see on TV, we want to be able to use a deeper thought process with some of these things, and that can make life a little harder sometimes for us and those around us, because always ask them that extra question, or okay, what did that study say, and what's the proof behind some of that study? You might drive your friends a little, or your friends or your relatives a little, like, oh my gosh, where are they coming from? But I hope the course can give you, a good understanding of sociology, a good understanding of critical thinking, and how that can play out in your life and your career. Because you're going to bring your own personality, your own thoughts and feelings into this subject, and that's great. And we want to be able to share that, because that's very important, because we're all unique individuals with unique personalities. And that makes up the fabric of the United States and the world. So But anyway, a couple. So I thought what would be really timely today is to talk about one of the. So sociology is made up of a number of theories. Okay, so they're sort of theories or explanations about the world that again try to make sense of all or parts of the world. And one of the major theories that many different sociologists over time have used and supported is conflict theory. So the idea on conflict theory is really that change, the primary mode of change is through conflict. And so can any of you think of or give an example of what we've got going on in the world today that could lead to examples of that? So yes, great example. So yes, so we've got certainly the marches against police. The protesting is an example of that. And let me start with our first sociologist, Karl Marx. He was alive in the 19th century, born in Germany. Spent a good deal of his life in London with his family, and he really focused on class inequality. So really looking at conflict as the primary mechanism of change, and that at that time they really thought that the working class, the main route of change was working class would overthrow capitalism. Okay, so you think of the 19th century, what was going on at that time, 1830 to like 1870, it was the primary stages of his career. It was steam engine, pre-steam engine. We were, going through the Civil War. Things were a little bit still horse and buggy, and modern technology had not really gotten going yet. And so there was poverty. There certainly was poverty, but he really argued for that there shouldn't be private property, that it really should be more community property. So leading into like socialism or communism. And in fact, the work he is most famous for is called the Communist Manifesto of 1846. But at the heart of it, so that's part of it is his economic views, but his other view, his main view, is really that conflict is really the primary mechanism of change. So what do you think Karl Marx might think of what's going on right now? Okay, great examples, class, great examples. Second one I wanted to cite is C. Wright Mills. C. Wright Mills from Columbia University. Again, one of his major works is called The Power Elite. And so what you'll see with C. Wright Mills is very much that the United States is sharply divided between those who have power and those who are powerless. Can you see any of those themes in what we've been dealing with here with the protests against police and so forth? Sure. Yes. Great feedback. And so I think I think both Karl Marx and C. Wright Mills would be looking at us now and saying, yes, there was such a degree of frustration among the powerless that an event such as happened in Minneapolis is now bringing this conflict to a point and probably boiling under the surface for many years. And so you have to go back to some of the race riots back in the 1960s, right around the Civil Rights Act, to really look at something at least from a racial standpoint. And then Rodney King, police brutality example back about 20 years ago in Los Angeles. So we've had parts of this, and so now I think the sociologists are going to be looking closely at the examples we've got now to be able to say, okay, this really does confirm what we have thought for many, many years, hundreds of years, for example, that change can really be best fueled through conflict theory. So, well, thank you so much for your time, class, and we'll take a break for now. Thank you.